Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Cancer, April 7, 2022. Circumstances may be such that you have more decision-making responsibility today. With a Mercury-Saturn minor challenge, you may need to deal with more than the usual inconveniences or unwelcome advice and critique, but nothing you can't handle. Try not to take offhand remarks too seriously, even if they appear contrary. Making edits could work to your benefit. Once you rise above minor problems, you'll find good energy for gaining someone's support or backing for a work or life path goal, and this feels good. With today's moon transit, you also want to feel that you're growing, learning, and improving. Connecting with someone who's at a distance from you. Despite the chemistry or spiritual connection or lack thereof you're currently experiencing with this person, today's astro weather could be the reason you're second-guessing the entire situation or, worse, experiencing feelings of insecurity with regards to coming together. The good news is, you have Mercury leading the way in Aries via your 10th house of authority. Still, the moon, your planetary ruler, will be joining forces with Jupiter and Neptune in Gemini via your expansive 9th house of adventure, belief systems, and unknown territory. You don't have a map, but you have an inner compass. Consider your investments. Whatever you choose to commit to could dramatically transform your professional life, mutual financial partnerships, and even your assets. The opportunity may arise when Venus in Gemini squares the North Node in Taurus. Venus is ready to invest in unique assets, resources, and partnerships, perhaps commitments you have never done before. However, the tension may arise as these proposed commitments could lead you to a different professional community or towards an aspiration you were not initially following. Although your career could go in a different direction, it could be worth it. Until she leaves your financial sector next week, Venus will remain out front, and with 3 planets now following in her footsteps, this puts her in pole position. Whatever comes next, the first step is to work with Venus as she works to fuel your financial confidence but also give you something to strive for. Venus is all about the what and not the when, where, and how. Relations and friends are having a hard time with you and vice versa. Put an end to this mutual feeling of frustration, be honest with yourself and consider compromising on some points. Talking to people to clear things up is also a big help. Regard today's negative atmosphere as an opportunity to resolve conflicts permanently. You're feeling a little torn, to say the least. You can identify with both sides of the argument. It's really a choice about which one to pick. Or is it? If possible, try to remove yourself from the situation. Whatever you try to achieve is criticized and unlikely to be accepted in a very favorable way, especially if you feel undue pressure to perform any kind of activity. It is far better to delay important activities or decisions until you feel positive about the outcome. Use your sense of humor to relieve any tension. The world has changed since last year, and no one of us is immune to changes occurring in our personal lives. Giving has taken on new meaning. We must give of our minds, not our pocketbooks. We must open up to a new way of living with others. Take this period of change seriously, and you will not be left behind. Yoga is a wonderful practice for giving power to the mind to show the body a new way of being. Your freedom of expression may feel very important to you on this day. If you get the feeling that someone is stepping on your toes or moving in on your work, you may find yourself acting very defensively. You take pride in your work, and this is a natural feeling, but take care not to become so protective of your creation that you ignore what may only be constructive criticism. You might just find the comments given will bring even better results. More important than almost anything is balance, with too much work and no play doing a lot more than just making life dull. At the same time, when your competitive spirit is inspired and you have something to work towards or achieve, this can give you a sense of purpose. This is what makes not just the next few days exciting, but the fact that this is a window into the twin tracks that the most important stars in the heavens will travel over the coming months. On one track is growing planetary activity on the adventurous and playful fronts, and on the other track is a rise in your professional star. This might only be Venus' first full day in an adventurous part of your chart, but as the planet of love starts bringing the spirit of romance and adventure together, it will be clear there is something special going on. Venus has returned to find Jupiter and Neptune, the planets of luck and dreams, already carving a path for her. This is the start of something special. Our eyes in the sky. Ready or not, it's time for a round of Big Boss, Little Boss at the office. If your supervisor isn't very savvy, you could be forced to take control of a current project. They might be protective of their role, but you can navigate your way around this power play. The Aries new moon could rock our world by shaking up our sense of stability. Under this luminary, we are cosmically asked to step up and manifest a new vision, which could prove challenging. The universe could create obstacles and throw roadblocks in our way, but with the right planning and a positive attitude, you can overcome them and fly high. But hits to the ego and emotional meltdowns will happen. Think of this like a seasonal shedding. In order to embrace the new, we must let go of what we've outgrown and no longer need. Unfortunately, if you haven't been trusting your instincts, you may have been thrown off your path. Now you're learning that you need to rely more on your third eye when dealing with others. Your intuition can be a lifesaver if you're open to accessing it. Whether or not the is something you are celebrating today, you will be assisted by the ambitious and practical Gemini moon. This should help you get everything done precisely and accurately. If you're able to be around relatives today, this lunation is especially supportive of stepping up and being there for family members. And even if you aren't planning any kind of gathering, you will most likely be the one from your clan chosen to be in charge of organizing current events or ones coming up in the future. Today is also about overcoming obstacles, as this strong and committed lunar energy supports you not giving up no matter what you're up against. Take some time to consider your role in your family, your neighborhood, your community, and society as a whole, and then make a plan so you can be a better contributor to any and all of these important groups. By now you know there are ways around in-person meetings. Stand up and be counted by making a worthwhile contribution to the world. Later in the afternoon there's a Moon-Neptune sextile that puts you in touch with your emotions and allows you to rely heavily on your intuition. If your partner, friend, or parent says they're fine but you can feel that they're distant, don't just let it go. Your compassion and understanding can make a big difference in someone else's life, so don't ignore that little voice that's saying, something is wrong.